Hello and welcome back to Grace.Filled. My name is Christy, and in this video I just wanted to go over the books that I read for the month of July. So for the month of July, I actually read 4 novels, and they all were good. I would say they all probably got a 4-star, but I would say this one has a distinction. I've never given a 4.5 star. I think that this one will. So to start off with, I'll say that this is a mix of books. This is a Cowboy To Remember. It's the Cowboys of California. One of my favorite authors, Tony Shallow, and this book is about faith. So it says, there comes a point in every woman's life where she must decide what to believe, the truth or the past or the circumstances of the present. Belle Peterson is hiding a secret. Seeking sanctuary in the small town of Maple Run, she's intent on starting her life over, one she hopes honors Christ. The plan was great until an undeniable, attractive Micah has her wondering if she's changed at all. Michael Campbell can't understand why Belle is so uptight and wants nothing to do until the gentle whispers of God tells him to befriend her. He didn't count on the feelings of protectedness to rise up or that spark of attraction. When Belle's past is revealed, Micah prays that his love can endure. So I thought this was a really great book. We kind of see in the beginning that Belle had really got herself into something that she didn't know what she was getting herself into. This dream guy that she was with that seemed so this and so that really wasn't what he seemed. And he actually ended up being pretty physical to her. And so she actually left him. And I'm so glad she did, because his level, he knew no chill, and that's not okay with me. So I was so glad that she had the strength to say, you know what, I'm done. You keep your money and all your other stuff too. She is a nurse. She has like her degree, but he would not let her work when he was with her. And so she has moved now into a family practice. It's small. It's a beautiful little area. She's got her first car. She's got her own little house, and she's working. And then she finds out that she's going to be working with this fine doctor. And so things just kind of go from there. But you know, Micah's like, wait a minute. She's so cool and so sweet to everybody except me. Why? And she had a little secret. And so that's the reason why. But she was attracted to him. He was attracted to her. And I love that this book had prayer in it. I love that we see him praying and asking the Lord for patience. And it's so funny because sometimes we say, like, Lord, help me be patient. Help me be this. Help me be that. And when you ask for it, you have to know that he's going to put you in a situation to test that. And that's how you get it, by being tested. And in those situations, it increases your patience, increases your faith, increases the other things around you. Again, Tony Shallow is one of my very favorite authors. I absolutely love that. The Other Side of Through. Michelle Donis. Whew. If she were asked to name what was missing, she would be hard-pressed to say, yet she knew deep within her being that whatever it was vital to her survival. Jessie Winters has it all: the perfect house, a loving husband, an adorable little girl, a career, and all of the outer trappings that signify a rich and blessed life. But underneath it all, she's missing something, a thing that she can't quite put her finger on, but a thing that gnaws at the picture-perfect existence and exposes the deep cracks beneath the surface. As Jessie grows increasingly dissatisfied in her marriage and her life, she has a chance encounter with Marcus Demmons, a handsome and mysterious attorney who instantly captivates her and causes her to risk it all when they begin a steamy and intense extramarital affair. And despite her inner turmoil, Jessie finds herself questioning life she's been living and whether she should leave it all behind. But Jessie's affair with Marcus takes her on an emotional journey that forces her to confront the trauma and unresolved issues of the past before she can fully complete the future. And she must find the courage to move beyond her artificial life and into a world where she lives on her own terms. Listen, You can just put the book down. Okay, let me get my life together. This is such a good book. It is such a good book. And I talked to a friend because somebody else was like, you shouldn't be reading books that are not Christian and da da da. And it says Blessed Life. I think this is probably will be considered. Listen, okay, you read what you like to read regardless of. So that's the first part. But this book is so good. I don't even know like how to start, how to dissect it. It's like when you think about someone who has it all, when you think about, the fact that she's having an affair, the book talks about confront the trauma and unresolved issues of her past. So now we're getting into some stuff that we like. We've got this handsome and mysterious attorney. Whew. Okay. So let's start at the beginning. So I love from this book, we can actually see multiple people's views. And I don't know that I've read too many like that. So I really love it. So this here says 1, and it starts off with Jessie. And so Jessie's just kind of, she's in this present day in chapter 1. And she's just kind of, with her daughter and just kind of talking about the life that she has and she lives. But then in chapter 2, we go to Atlanta, ATL, that's where I was born. We go to Atlanta in August 1991. And so now her mom is kind of talking and doing the sharing. And we get to see it from the mom's point of view. And the mom is this sweet lady who has just had faith, but who's just had so many trials and obstacles and just pain and grief come her way. And she finally meets this guy who's going to be a pastor, and she thinks like he's going to be amazing, and he's going to love the Lord, he's going to love me, he's going to treat me good and all these things. And that's not what happens. Like, he is a total fraud, a total jerk, and he is such a disgrace to pastors. But I gotta say, there are some pastors who are truly like that. And so he's abusive, and he is just such a horrible husband and, carrier of the spirit, right? Like the carrier of the word. How dare you speak out of your mouth one thing and look how you're treating your wife and your family. So he is just not good at all. And we can see that. But we see the mom continue to love on Jessie, and the mom never shows what's happening. And Jessie grows up not knowing any of what the father is doing to the mom. Like, she literally had no idea at all. She just really did not. And, as we go a little bit further into the story, when we get to the next chapter, we get to chapter 3. It goes back to Jessie. And so one day when her daughters were upstairs playing in the attic, they pulled out the journal and some blankets and some other items from her mom, because her mom died when she was a lot younger. She pretty much lost everyone in her family. So 4 goes to the incident, and this is when Claire is having a dream, and she's kind of going back to what happened. Now, I'm gonna just tell y'all, I like to talk, and I just want to share it all. So there may be some spoiler alerts in here, but basically the mother finds out, like, she's been saving up her money all this time, and she's been like waiting for the chance to leave the husband. I told you how horrible he was. And so the husband just disappears, takes all the money, and the mother is kind of like in question. And Jessie's kind of wondering why her mom's not sad. Like, her mom's eating all the best china and happy. And she's like, what's going on here? Like, you should be sad. And she doesn't really know what to make of it, because, again, she never knew what was happening in her home and stuff. So in 5, we go back to Jessie. And so I won't go too much further, but basically it just went on and talked about how Jessie got married. But before that, she went to live with her grandparents. I will say that the father was cheating on the mom, had a whole nother girlfriend on the side. The mom got a little bit upset. Would you be upset? I think you'd be upset. And she went ahead and did some things that we probably shouldn't be doing. And so Jessie had to go and live with the grandparents and just kind of start her life all over from there. So Jessie was really upset at the mother all this time, and she never really gave the mother a chance to explain or to give more information, and the mother dies of cancer, and it's a sad thing. And so when Jessie finally opens up this journal, she finds out things that blow her away. She had no idea these things were happening with the mom, with her. And it really is such an eye-opener, and the way she thinks about her mom totally changes. And she goes from practically hating her mom and just not being happy with her to really understanding her and just wishing she could ask for forgiveness and just be with her. So we see her on this journey to forgiveness, and we see her on this redemptive journey where she lost her way for a while when she met Marcus. And there's a lot I can say about Marcus too, besides the affair. I actually like his character. But anyway, in the end, she does forgive, her husband does forgive her. She stays with the husband, and she has just learned so many things about her. And God is so good that some of the things that she was dreaming about that she didn't think anybody knew, her husband surprised her with a room that she could, like a paint studio, and sent her on a trip to Paris. And these were all the things that she wanted to do, and she was contemplating leaving her marriage for it. And I don't think she realized that she could have both. And so this is not a story for everybody. And I know this is a really long review, but I think it's important that we talk about these things, because let's face it, I've been married for getting ready to be 14 years. And there are some times in my marriage where I'm just like, okay, we're all not happy with our lives 100% of the, like we're not always happy 100% of the times. That's just the fact. But I like to see if you're on that cusp, if you're on that bridge, if you're thinking about other things, maybe this book could kind of pull you back and just give you some perspective and some ideas and all that. So something a little bit less deep is The Love Pact with Hero. And this was a really sweet book. Of course, all these books, whenever I read a book, I most of the time just get it done in one reading. And so this says, two best friends, one little girl's prayer, and a love pact may be the answer to all their Christmas wishes. Heaven, Alexandra used to believe in happy ever afters before she lost her husband and became a single mom. These days, she keeps herself busy as the event planner at Freedom Ridge Lodge, helping to make other couples' dreams come true. Her other job, humor and Maya, her spunky 3-year-old daughter who has a dream of her own, finding herself a daddy. This test proves too challenging that when Maya sets her eyes on Heaven's childhood friend who comes home for a visit. Jeremiah Gilbert left Freedom a dozen years ago with a bad reputation and an even worse regret, not confessing his love for his best friend. He has returned, however, older and wiser and ready to rekindle their friendship and more. There's a promise on the line, one they made in high school, that he longs to fulfill. Winning over her daughter Maya is easy, but helping to heal Heaven's broken heart proves to be nearly impossible. When Maya gets into a dangerous situation, these old friends must put the past behind them and find a new way to trust in each other and the one who was able to meet their deepest needs. Ooh, this was such a good book too. I really like this book. I did. So there is some winter here. And, well, okay, there's no winter here. But this book is just such a good book. So this talks about like being a widow. And this book kind of brings you along for the little girl, Maya, her dad has died, and she has been praying fervently with her grandmother every day that the Lord would give her a daddy. She sees the other girls playing and she's like, I want a daddy too. And so for Heaven, it's like, listen, I was in so much pain, like over that death of my husband. I'm just not ready for any other relationship. I don't even want another relationship. And so she was so focused on her job and her daughter, and thankfully she had her parents to kind of help raise her daughter and help her out and take care of her so that she could work and be okay. And so it's just amazing to see the strength of a mom and to see the prayers of a daughter, and then to see a guy who has made some mistakes in the past and how he's changed his life around. Because so often when we make mistakes, people want to just continue to look at our mistakes, but sometimes they forget we're changed people. Like, we change and things are different. And if they would probably drop what we did, they probably would just see the beauty in us instead of seeing that ugly negative thing that we've done. Because truth be told, we've all done something that was not good and something that we would not want anybody else to see. And so I just love this little adventure that we go along with them. And I love ultimately at the end, Maya gets a daddy. Jeremiah does heal Heaven's broken heart, and Heaven does get to now have a husband. And Heaven and Jeremiah have loved each other since childhood. And so this is a story too about how if someone's maybe meant for you, then maybe you will get that second chance at love again, like that other opportunity. I don't think that Gilbert thought, or that Jeremiah thought that he would be able to get that chance again, and he did. And I don't think that he really understood that because he loved Heaven so much, that's why he always dated girls that kind of had hair like her, reminded him of her. So things that maybe unconsciously he just did. So this was a really great story. 4 stars as well. The way I give my books, unless it absolutely changed my life, it just gets a 4 if it's really good, really entertaining. If it changed my life, it absolutely gets a 5. There are very few of those, but there are some of those. And lastly, this is the Cowboy To Remember. It's the Cowboys of California, and it's by Rebecca Witherspoon. So first off, this book is a 4-star all the way. I finished it in one sitting. Absolutely amazing, absolutely great. This is a great story about a African-American family who grow up taking care of horses, having having a horse ranch, having a grandma who is popular, who's famous. They are a very well-off family. We get to see what family really looks like and just some amazing family dynamics. So this was absolutely an amazing book from that perspective. I love seeing books where Black people are portrayed in such a positive, good light. In this brand new series from award-winning author Rebecca Witherspoon, a charming cowboy and his sleeping beauty find their modern day happily ever after. With a headline spot on a hit morning show and truly mouth-watering culinary skills, Chef Evie Buchanan is perched on the edge of stardom, but at an industry party, a fall lands Evie into the hospital with no memory of who she is. Scrambling to help, Evie's assistant contacts the only family Evie has left, close friends who run the luxury dude ranch in California where Evie grew up. Evie has no recollection of them until former rodeo champion Zach Pleasant walks into her hospital room, and she realizes his handsome face has been haunting her dreams. Zach hasn't seen Evie in years, not since their families conducted a campaign to make sure their childhood friendship never turns into anything more. When the young cowboy refused to admit the feelings between them were real, Evie left California, making it clear she never wanted to see Jack again. Now he refuses to make the same mistake twice. Starting fresh is risky when they have a history she can't recall. But Zach can't bear to let go of her now. Can he awaken the sleeping beauty inside her who might still love him? This was a good book. Like I said, I read it in one sitting. It was really good. So this book, like I said, it follows a guy who runs a luxury dude ranch in California. And so Evie herself grew up in California as well, but she didn't have a lot of family, and her grandmother died. And so she just, could you imagine what's happening at that point and at that stage of her life? And so as she's, confessing her love to this guy, he's basically saying, I don't love you. Then she's like, bye then. And so she goes off and she just makes this absolutely amazing life for herself, where she's cooking and doing shows and just really excited about life. And then a rival on the show pushes her down the steps, and due to the fall, Evie loses her memory and she cannot remember a thing. Now, mind you, she's famous and she's on this show and people know her, and she doesn't have any memory or recollection. And mind you, I said she doesn't have any family. The only person in case of emergency was the brothers. And so when they go ahead and they call, the Pleasants come out. They come out, Jesse and Zach, they come out, and there's a third brother, Sam, and they just take her home to be with the grandmother, the famous movie star. And she really helps out, and she really helps Evie get her memory back, and she helps her to cook because she's the one who taught her to cook in the first time. And we just get to see these two fall back in love again, and we get to see Evie's memory coming back. And so one day, Evie goes to the ranch to watch Zach ride and show off, and a friend who comes that she's supposed to know and she doesn't, because she doesn't have memory, right? He gives her this big red gum, and this gum triggers whatever was happening, and now she has her full memory back, and she remembers everything from what happened to her and to the fact that she's here with this guy and how he hurt her. And so she packs up her stuff and she goes home, and then the rest of it is this journey to finding out where she belongs, and this journey to healing, and all parties just really admitting the errors of their ways and trying to rectify it. And I just think that it is absolutely beautiful. This was such a great book. I love how beautiful it is. It's very well written. This family is such a great tight-knit family, and I think I like them so much because there's 3 boys and I have 4 boys, and so I think that that's part of the reason that I like this book so much. It's just, and then they have horses. I don't have horses, but it's my dream to have a horse. I have 2 goats, Cupcake and Ladybug, and I have 12 chickens and have cats. And so anyway, I just really love the setting, like the whole thing with this book is absolutely amazing to me, and I could picture every single part of it inside of my head. So this wraps up the books that I read for July. This is my first time doing a wrap up, so hopefully I did a good job. I just tried to be authentic and real to myself and just share with you guys. So that's it for this video. I'll be back later to share my TBR for the month of August, and then at the end of August I'll be back to wrap up what I read. Sprinkle with maybe some tags or hauls or anything like that. If you have any recommendations for books that I might like, let me know. And if you have any recommendations for tags that I should try, let me know. And so until the next video, read another book, and blessings.